Hi, I'm Angela, and this video is called How Can We Transform Modern Relationships to Handle Loss? So I've mentioned in some of my other work how modern relationships are breaking up and there's a lot of heartbreak, and it's like a phenomena. Our modern relationships are giving rise to the question of why be in a relationship, but what's the purpose of a relationship? How do we make it last? And underneath that is really the idea that they should last. And that's actually not true unless you're prepared to do what it takes to make a relationship last. So making a relationship last was in before modern relationships, in the last 20, 30, 40 years, relationships that lasted were forced to last and encouraged to last by our society's expectations, our cultural expectations, our religious institutions' expectations, which were programmed deep inside us as a guide of what a lasting relationship should be. So a lot of people stayed in relationships, maybe your parents, where they really didn't want to, and abuse arose, or other things that are quite violent arose from that. And conversely, a lot of people stuck it out through the hard times, where you see a lot of divorce now. Previous generations just stuck it out and worked through it. They might have had 3-5 years of torment and then broke through that phase and got to this other beautiful phase of the relationship. So if you are watching, that is possible if you're in a stuck relationship. I've heard miracle after miracle of people who have been even through an affair, separated for several months or years, and then finally reuniting. It is possible. It's not suggested as the right thing to do, but it's more than possible if that's the destiny of the two of you. And I'm a strong believer in destiny. How you control that destiny is a matter of choice as well. But sometimes I do see couples just not meant to be together. So whether you're going to make the relationship work or break up is always going to be about you feeling how committed you are to work through the difficulties that the two of you have together. And it does take two to make it work. So sometimes separation, as I've noticed in some couples where an affair has happened, or a betrayal, or a loss of a child, the separation has given them the time they needed to work on what they needed to work on, and then they were able to reconcile. So then if you're looking at loss, what does it take? What does it take for our current status of society, where divorce is on the rise, where a lot of people are staying single, or a lot of people go through several relationships in one lifetime instead of the traditional one? How do we accommodate losing people we love and then loving again? And I have a webinar about loving again. If you're interested in that, the link is below. So when we accommodate loss, it takes a certain resilience. And the only way I've been able to find that resilience in myself is by discovering an inner self that I converse with daily and feel deeply what I'm feeling instead of running away from it, which I ran away for a long time until I just said, I can't run away anymore. So the resilience is actually a few steps. I actually cover them in the webinar as well. And it's about creating a space where when things break down, we actually feel safe enough to face what is coming up for us emotionally or mentally. And your thoughts are going to be really critical. So we need a space that's going to be able to say, hold on, critical thoughts, you're not going to take over. Your emotions will also be really powerful. And we need a safe space to say, hang on, emotions, you're not going to run the show. So unless you have a container or a way of talking to yourself, or a meditation practice like I share, or a coach or a mentor or a teacher or a system where you can actually engage with your thoughts and your feelings, you're going to be dominated by those a lot. So the answer I have for allowing modern relationships to flourish is to create that space for loss. And it cannot just be a loss of a partner, it could be a loss of a child or a parent, or even grandparents and other family members. These are the things that, as we move forward, we need to bring into modern relationships, so we actually have safe places that allow the relationships to stay together and strong.